Hi, everybody. This is about our Why Music worksheet. This book, The Psychological Foundations of Musical Behavior, was written by Dr. David Boyle and Rudolf Radocy. This was my textbook in a class on the psychology of music. It's great because it's a compendium of ideas. It doesn't have new ideas as much as it assembles all the ideas that are in play. And they ask the question, why is music so important that it has been a part of every society that we know? Well, let's start with the first one, the ability to speak one's feelings about the condition of society or towards another person beyond what language can speak. And this is very important. I speak sometimes about childbirth, like trying to describe childbirth or the pain of dental surgery. We're talking about emotional experience, the ability of someone to say, it's beyond words how painful this was. The example that I like to play is first dances for a wedding. When people pick their first dance for a wedding, it usually has a lot more to do with the way they feel than what they want to say to everybody. The desire to enrich our surroundings by creating and contemplating beautiful things in an artistic sense. This is aesthetics. And aesthetics is the study of art. Why do people enjoy this? This is usually something, that appeals to the higher senses. Say, for instance, listening to Johann Sebastian Bach. Go into a bookstore, expensive restaurant, this might be what you hear. Now, the opposite of that, deriving pleasure, amusement, or diversion from music instead of artistic enrichment. Hey, it's just entertainment. I can't tell you why this is great. I just like it. Sounds good to me. And I think of all the TikTok songs that people relate to, like It's Corona Time or Baby Shark, things like that. Number four, depending on the mood, personality, and attitude of the listeners, music is able to do this in the context of the culture that you're involved in. This is no universal way of communicating to music, but each individual, your grandfather, your parents, and you and your baby sister or brother will interpret this song differently. This is the ability of music to communicate. And one of the examples I always have all the time is how Tupac has a hold on certain age groups. I had one project where a stepbrother sat his brother down and said, hey, you've got to listen to Tupac. You're not leaving today unless you hear Tupac. You've got to understand what positive message is in the music of Tupac, whereas your parents don't think it's positive, your grandparents can't stand it. You understand that it's a very positive, uplifting message. Number five, music that represents some other concept or behavior, either by the lyrics, the cultural meaning, or in relation to some universal principle. That's the music says something, but really means much more. It's symbolic. For instance, if Pitbull says 305 till I die, what does it mean if you're in the 305? Well, we're part of the 305, but how about somebody from another part of the country, another part of the world? They don't quite get it. They have their own version of what South Florida means. Number six, the ability to involve and attract either individual or group movements such as dancing or the wave at a soccer or football game. Music is a physical response. We've mentioned that if you don't have a physical response to music, music is pretty much dead. It's in a museum behind glass. So going to hear salsa music and not seeing people dance is kind of a strange thing. So what I have in an example is country music line dancing, a phenomenon that started in the 1980s with Billy Ray Cyrus and Achy Breaky Heart. I knew some people that just carried boots in the back of their car after work. Number seven, the ability to suggest or state proper cultural behavior or the consequences if you don't behave according to the rules of society. This is one of music's main functions, to enforce conformity. And one of the ways that this really works more than anything else is singing the national anthem. The examples that I used was Castro in Cuba and Chavez or Maduro in Venezuela. You're being filmed at these rallies. If you're not singing, they come to your house and ask you why you don't sing. This is related, number 8, music that justifies the existence of social institutions and religions through recitation, ritual, legend, doctrine. Ritual is very important. It's a validation of the institution. So example would be the music of world religions. Yes, clearly Buddhist music is going to be different than Baptist music. Number 9, as a result of all the social processes related above, music is a means whereby the heart of the psychology of a culture is exposed. So in this regard, it contributes to the continuity and the stability of a culture. There's really nothing more on display that I've seen in my lifetime when my father died than when 2 young men from the Air Force came out to the gravesite and played taps to thank him for his service to the United States Air Force. If you've ever been to Arlington Cemetery, or please go, you'll see this in play. Number 10, finally, the ability to encourage or even require individuals to participate in the activities of the groups that society sees as important to existence is what's referred to as integration. Do you want to join us? You must join us. If you want to join us, come to the powwow of the Seminoles, which we have every year in South Florida, up in North Florida too, Tampa. All right, there's your why music.